Today we have Vanessa Nixon. She is a traditional naturopath and author. She is passionate about helping women thrive during the spiritual initiation of their menopausal journey. She is adept at attunement to natural health, invigorating dance and therapeutic movement, and teaching women to see their innate natural beauty. After reimagining her life at age 50, Vanessa discovered a profound and deeply intuitive process that helped her to embrace her fabulous inner wise woman fearlessly. She now shares these powerful and ancient initiations with women who want to reclaim vibrant, good health in their own blessed midlife transit. Vanessa lives in Pacific Northwest and is CEO of natural cosmetics company Natural Look Mineral Makeup. When she is not practicing in the realm of natural health and organic beauty, she is a professional belly dancer instructor. So nice of you to meet virtually, Vanessa Nixon. Uh, I hope today's session will be great. So if you want to add something before we start our Q&A session.
Well, I just want to say thank you so much for having this conversation with me today. I'm really delighted to be speaking with you and to be sharing about something that is important to both of us. Many of the things that we're talking about, we both are very interested in supporting women around. And so I am just so happy and delighted that you are here wanting to continue and further this dialogue of supporting women during this amazing phase of life that we call menopause.
Yes, yes. So actually, now our mindset is changing, and that brings a different generation. Like current generation is addressed as Gen Z, and we women who are in the transition phase of menopausal journey, we are addressed as Gen M. So, what you feel? Why is reframing the concept of menopause important for women?
That's a great question. And I think it goes back to our cultural conditioning around what it means to be a maturing woman in our society. I think many of us have grown up in cultures that really condition us to believe that the value of a woman is dependent upon her youth and dependent upon this cultural idea of what we have around beauty being very youthful and very fresh and very much oriented around the childbearing reproductive phase of life. And so as we are maturing and as we're entering and going through menopause, a lot of women really are beginning to feel very invisible in their workplaces, in their families, and feeling like they're no longer valued. And we also have this idea that is pressed upon us that this is the beginning of the end. Once you're in menopause, it's all over. Everything's going downhill. And so a lot of women are really feeling a lot of grief and feeling very unseen and unheard. And so I really want to support women to reframe those ideas. Those are ideas that may come from a very patriarchal culture. And we can take menopause and reframe it into what I think it was always meant to be, and that is a time of wisdom, a time of where we can really focus on ourselves, maybe for the first time in our lives, we can focus on what we want and what we need, because earlier in our lives, we may have just been focused on taking care of everybody else, taking care of our children and our spouses and our families and our careers. And this can be a time to pause during menopause and to really look deeply within ourselves and discover what we want for the next part of our lives, the next phase of our lives, where we can use all of the experience and wisdom that we've gained so far, and then offer out to the world our gifts and our skills in a much more impactful way.
Great way to explain the menopausal journey and how we can reframe. And actually, I feel that menopause is something that help woman to get back to her 10 years of age. It is a freedom, so we cannot stop that our growth. It is not a gate that open at aging, I feel so. So that is a great explanation. And I feel every pause does not stop anything but initiate something. So I hope you feel the same, and please let me know what is your point of view about menopause and initiation.
Yes, I do think that it is an amazing initiation. As you said, I think it's not necessarily the ending or just an ending of one phase of life, but it's the beginning. It's the rebirth of another phase of life. And I think about the cycle of life that we talk about in various ways. And so menopause reminds me of that cycle of life when one thing ends, another thing is reborn. And so while it is the ending of the reproductive phase of our lives, um, it is the beginning of this new phase of life. And you talked about freedom, and so we have many different freedoms that come during this new phase of life. And there are also sometimes some challenges that we experience. And I think that's part of this initiation. I know in the US where I am, when we think about the word initiation, we often think about something that is kind of hard to do, something challenging that initiates us into something else. And so it's that adversity, it's the um, it's the impetus that we take to go ahead and initiate ourselves into this new thing that we want to do. And that's kind of what's happening within ourselves, within our bodies, is we're going into menopause. It's not like we can do anything to stop it, but we can make it easier if we look at this as this is my initiation into this period of life where I am becoming the wise woman. I'm becoming the elder. I am becoming a new, better, more evolved version of myself, where I can use all of this experience and all of this wisdom that I have gathered over my lifetime. And it can really be a spiritual initiation into a deeper level of knowing who you are, who you really are, and who you want to continue to become as you enter this next phase of life. And I love how you have used this in the title of your book. And I love how the traditional Chinese medicine has talked about menopause as the second spring, because I really feel like that is what menopause is all about. It's not about this is the end of your life. It's about, it may be the end of your reproductive life, but it's the second spring. It's just the beginning. It's just the initiation of this new phase of life. And when we can look at it like that, and we can really embrace that this is a time to go deeper. This is a time to really value who I am and what I can bring to the world, then I think that it can be a very magical time, and it can also be a really powerful time for women to make the changes that they want to make in the world, because we have the wisdom to do that. We sometimes, many of us have more time and energy available to really put towards the things that are really important to us. So it can be a very, very powerful phase of life for so many of us.
Oh, great explanation. And I feel that two W's actually very match with the mature woman. One is denoted as wrinkle in our face, wrinkle in our body, and another is wisdom. So these wrinkles actually signing that we are now become very much knowledgeable. Our experience is give such kind of wisdom that we can share with others. So that is a great initiative, as well as this age is something that can bring something new to the world. So I just want to move in some other part that food is something very important, and in the 14 BC, the great Greek philosopher Hippocrates mentioned that food is medicine. So can you explain how can using food as medicine help women navigate the changes of midlife?
Yes, I'm so glad that we have shifted to this concept of food as medicine, because I think this is one of the things that we as women innately have this wisdom. And especially in generations past, we were the wise women of our villages and our communities that understood how to use food as medicine, and um, how to elevate our health and keep ourselves and our families and our communities from becoming ill by using food as medicine. And so as we are reaching this very, mature age of wisdom, we can really incorporate some of those principles of using food as medicine to help us to navigate these changes that are happening within our bodies, and to step into this new phase of life feeling really vibrant and really healthy and really vital and energized. And, as we know, the things that we eat become the building blocks for our body. And so it's so important to be really intentional about the things that we choose to consume. And, we've all heard about, reducing sugar and reducing processed foods and eating more of a whole food diet. But there are certain foods that are really valuable for us to think about adding into our diets beyond just the general health advice that we hear so often. One of the food categories that I love to talk about at this time are the phytosterols, the phytoestrogens in certain plant foods that can help our bodies to balance our hormones naturally. Because we know our hormones are shifting at this time of life, as they are naturally supposed to be doing, but we can help them to shift in a way that's easier and in a way that helps us to navigate this shift and this change, in a way where we're not experiencing a lot of symptoms and a lot of disruption to our normal daily life and our health. And so choosing foods that are higher in phytoestrogens can really help us right now to keep that hormonal balance as we're navigating this change. Another category of foods that I find extremely helpful for women during this phase of life is fermented foods, foods that are very high in probiotics. which are going to help make sure that we have a really healthy gut flora. And as we know, everything that we're consuming has to be assimilated through the gut. And so if our gut is disordered, if we are not able to digest what we're eating very well, then we are not able to assimilate all of the nutrients that we're taking in. And so it's really important. One of my mentors always said, no matter what the issue is, always start with the gut. Look there, make sure that the gut is really healthy. And that is going to ensure that all of the other things that you take in are being assimilated. So those are two areas or categories of using food as medicine that can be really helpful for women as they navigate this phase of life.
Very interesting and very informative also. So another thing I just want to add, that is, with aging our body's ROS, that is reactive oxygen species, are increasing, and to reduce that level, maybe the antioxidant which we are producing in our body is not sufficient, then food is the source. From there we can get the extra antioxidant. So natural foods, organic foods are the great sources of different antioxidants that we can also consider to reduce the ROS level. So very informative. I feel that these things, if anybody add at this age, then they will definitely get the benefits from the food as medicine. So another point I just want to mention here, that women are considered as the backbone of a family, and that responsibility sometimes compromising their health. So how can women take ownership of their health?
This is one of the things that's really key for me when I am working with women, because especially in the US, we are brought up in a society that conditions us to put our health under somebody else's authority, to give away our power to whether it's a doctor or another healthcare provider, instead of educating ourselves around how to keep ourselves healthy. And as you said, women are the backbone of their families. And so a lot of times it's the women that are looked to take care of everybody else. But if we don't know how to take care of ourselves, it's really hard to then be able to take care of everybody else as well. And so if we educate ourselves, if we connect to our own inner wisdom, and if we are able to find the confidence to take ownership of our own health and realize we can actually, there are so many things that we can control in our lives. There are some things that are out of our control, but there are so many things that are within our control. And once we get to that point where we take ownership of that, then we can really change the trajectory of our health. We can change the trajectory of our family's health. We can change the trajectory of our lives. That is something that I learned as a young woman, as I healed myself of chronic illness, that the doctors were not able to do. And so that was a really empowering moment in my life when I realized I can heal myself. I can find the resources and reach out for the support that I need and heal myself, because our bodies are self-healing. And if we give our bodies what they need to heal, we can help to support and direct our own healing. And I think that's really a powerful thing for women, especially in this phase of life, to understand and to realize, is that we can take ownership of our health and we can change the trajectory of our lives and make sure that our lives are going in a healthy direction. And that can not only then affect our health, but it can affect everything else in our lives once we realize that there's so much that we can control and that we can direct and move forward.
Very nicely described. And actually, we are in the mission in to help women and at their health aspects as well as their mindset aspects. So, last but not least, I must ask you, what resources do you offer to support women holistically?
Well, thank you for asking that. My passion is around supporting women through natural health, through natural beauty, through natural movement, and so I have a variety of ways that I support women, a variety of programs. I also have written a book, which is called Meno-Morphosis: Rituals, Spells, and Natural Remedies for Peri, Mid, and Postmenopausal Women, which is available on Amazon, and that's a really great way for a lot of women to start, is to educate themselves on some of these aspects of health during this phase of life. But I also work with women one-on-one in a variety of ways. And I also am doing something right now that I feel is really important, because I want to make sure that the things that I'm offering, the support that I'm offering, the resources that I'm offering are really valuable as can be for women. And so, one thing that I'm offering are market research interviews where women can have a short conversation with me where I can ask them, what are the things that you really need help with? And then, in return for having that short interview with me, I offer them a short one-to-one consult. And in that way, women are helping me to help them. And it's very reciprocal. And I feel really strongly about that reciprocity in supporting women, that it's not something that's just coming from me to women. Like it's reciprocal. It's a collaboration. We're co-creating this relationship and this community, and better health for all women, one at a time. And so that's something that I'm really happy to be offering.
That's great. Actually, if we are conversation doing with someone who inspired us, then that is actually helpful to inspire from within. And I feel, Vanessa, you are doing a very great job. And market research is something very important to do before we claim anything. So we are helping others, as well as you are doing something that is completely helpful to the society. So I feel it is a great initiative. And before we wrap up, if you want to add something, then it will be great. Your last note, if any.
Well, thank you so much. And, I just want to really encourage women to think about how they can reframe this part of their lives. Think about, what were their dreams that maybe they had to push aside to raise a family, or because of their career, or what new dreams do they have now that they've never thought about before, and really utilize this phase of life as a way to feel really empowered to bring your work out into the world, for all women to bring their important work out into the world, because we all have our own unique magic, we all have our own unique skill set, we all have our own unique talents that we can bring out into the world to change the world, to make it a better place for all of us. And so I want to encourage everybody to reframe this time as a very potent life phase in which to do that.
Thank you so much for these encouraging words, as well as you motivate all of us to rediscover ourselves. So thank you for your time and for the conversation.
Thank you.